Daniel Dubois is the future of the heavyweight division. 27 years old, man, and he comes out there and thoroughly dominates Anthony Joshua before knocking him out in the 5th round and just cementing himself as a player at the very top of the heavyweight division. I mean, he was a significant underdog, man. They showed a poll right before the start of this fight. 83% of the fans thought Anthony Joshua was going to come out in the victory with this one. There were not many people at all who were really giving Dubois much of a chance. They figured after what we saw when he lost in 2020, when he got knocked out by Joyce, after what we saw when he got stopped by Alexander Usyk, and I'll admit, I was one of those guys. I was one of those guys who looked at him and thought, maybe he never really reached his potential, or maybe this was all we were going to get, right? We were seeing a guy who was young, strong, incredibly talented. He was talked about being at the top level, but for some reason, he just didn't deliver, right? For some reason, he just wasn't able to get that final step. And I thought that was going to be the way that it was. I thought he had really been robbed out of the one chance that, maybe robbed isn't the right word, but I thought maybe the one chance that he had of really kind of being the man, getting his name on the books as being the top dog for even a short period of time was when he caught Alexander Usyk with that body shot. Now, maybe you think it was low, maybe you think it was a legit body shot, whatever the case may be. If that, it was a super close shot, but if you put that as a close shot, that would have been a stoppage. Usyk goes down. He doesn't get up for the 10 count. That's it. Dubois wins the belt. Now, it ended up being deemed a low blow. We saw how the fight ended, but I thought it was like that was really his chance. And I thought all the air came out of his sails. I thought he was just kind of deflated after that one. And it's like everything that he prepared for, everything that he went for, he goes in there, he sees that perfect shot, he lands it, gets deemed low, done. I kind of thought it was over with. Couldn't have been more wrong. I could not have been more wrong, man. Daniel Dubois came out with this one with the perfect game plan. He just came out and immediately established himself as the ring general. He said, I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to take control of the center of the ring. I'm going to be on the front foot. I'm landing the jab, doubling it up, tripling it up. When AJ backs straight up, I'm following him with the right hand. Perfect game plan. Although, I doubt how much he would have needed the perfect game plan. Because even though this fight went 5 rounds, it was over in the first 30 seconds. It just took him another 4.5 rounds, whatever, to finally close the show. But that right hand that Dubois caught AJ with in those first 30 seconds seemed like it changed everything. AJ was never quite the same. And I want to say, looking at it, I watched it a few times at this point already, I think AJ got caught cold. Now, traditionally, when we use that saying, we're referring to a guy physically not being ready for the fight. Maybe he didn't warm up enough in the back. He doesn't come out. He doesn't have a sweat going. He needs to kind of actually physically get going, get his muscles working, get the blood flowing, get into the fight. That's how we traditionally use the phrase. That's not what I mean here. When I say he got caught cold, I mean the intensity level. I mean mentally. He wasn't ready for what Dubois brought to her. From the second that bell rang, Dubois was already going 100 miles an hour. He was 100% foot on the gas, on the front foot, making it happen. And it seemed like AJ came out with this mindset that there was going to be a warm-up phase. Maybe take the first 2 rounds to kind of warm up, get the feel of things, get to see how it's going. Not the case at all, man. Not the case at all. If you cannot match your opponent's intensity, you're done. I don't care if it's the first 30 seconds, the last 30 seconds, 7th round, 8th round, 9th round. When the man standing in front of you wants to turn around and he wants to crank up that dial and he wants to bring that heat, you have to match that or you're going to get steamrolled. Now, I don't want to make it seem like Joshua didn't have any moments in the fight. He did. He caught Dubois with some uppercuts and sometimes caught him with a few right hands, particularly at the very end of the fight, the very ending sequence. Joshua looked like he hurt Dubois kind of bad, man. He put him on, he stumbled a little bit, kind of put him on some funny legs. Dubois starts to back up to the ropes. That's what ends up leading to the final shot that catches AJ. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, and I'm certainly not the first person to say this. This is the type of thing that you see when you lead with a naked uppercut. The man's shooting a naked uppercut, doesn't set it up at all. He's from the outside. And it just leaves you so wide open. There is just nothing but opportunity for your opponent to come in there and just land a beautiful right hand, exactly what we saw from Dubois. AJ's face planted on the ground. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the rematch. That's what's going to be interesting. Because it'll be another chance for AJ to come out there and kind of show what he has. But Daniel Dubois, man, his confidence has to be through the roof. Through the absolute roof. I mean, we've seen him doing these last 3 performances and coming out here, and he kept talking about in the post-fight press conference, redemption. This is my redemption story. And I believe him 100%. I mean, this dude had all the high hopes behind him of being the man who was going to come out and lead the heavyweight division after these guys left. Because let's not make no mistake about it. We're talking about AJ, Tyson Fury, and Alexander Usyk. These guys are significantly older than Daniel. So he was always deemed that. But then after those losses that we saw him take, everybody wrote him off. Everybody wasn't talking about him anymore. Everybody just kind of put him on the back burner and thought he'd be one of the guys and also ran a contender, a gatekeeper for the division, that type of thing. And the question was in the air about who was going to come and who was going to snatch up after these guys left. This is absolutely the redemption story. He came out there and did exactly what he was supposed to do. And sometimes that happens in life, particularly when you're dealing with heavyweight boxing, because it only takes one punch for everything to change. But he came back, bounced back, showed a lot of resilience to come back from those losses, man. I remember how Usyk was talking to him after the fight in the ring. He said, Daniel, stay focused. You're going to be a champion. You're a very good fighter. It had to be heartbreaking to land that shot and then still end up dealing with that loss. But he came back today and he just completely turned the page on that one, completely turned it around. Really, truly, I want to see the man fight the winner of Fury versus Usyk. That's what I want to see. But we'll probably only see that if Usyk wins. Because it's my understanding, if Fury wins that one and they split it, we're going to be looking at a rubber match between the two of those guys. And then we're going to be talking about Dubois getting put how far out before he could get that potential fight, which means that we're going to need to see him fight someone in the meantime. AJ's got the rematch clause on this one. If he decides to exercise it, you'd have to figure that that's a fight we're going to see. But I don't think we're going to see a different result. I don't think we're going to see a different result. As much as I want to, talk about how interesting it's going to be, as much as I want to talk about the possibilities of what AJ could bring to the table, as much as we want to speculate on all the different ins and outs and how the nuances could look and the differences and everything, with the beating that he took from this one, I don't think AJ should be back in the ring for at least a year. With the confidence that Dubois gained from going out there and being able to put it on him like that and eat the shots that AJ was throwing back, I don't think there's any doubt in his mind of what he'd be able to do in the rematch. And when we talk about AJ's confidence, that's got to be in the gutter, man. That's got to be in the gutter. I mean, he was talking so tough leading up to this one. He was going out there and just basically treating Dubois like he was an also-ran, like he was a nobody, like he was just a hiccup in the road. Like he was just, I got to just get through this guy before I can really get to the fight I want and try and win all these belts and everything. Man, I don't know how he's going to be able to, I don't know, mentally. Especially if he doesn't take any kind of a tune-up fight or anything and he goes right back in there. It's like he was just starting to rebuild himself. And then he goes in there and gets smoked like this. Like he was just starting to get people to really think that he was going to be able to go out there and make it happen. And then he goes out there and he got face planted, man. I mean, dropped 4 times, beaten on, hurt early in the fight, and then taking shots for another 5 rounds. When it's all said and done, gets face planted, tries to get up, stumbles and lands on his shoulder again. Bad look. And I don't mean to talk bad about the man by any stretch of the imagination. Anthony Joshua has accomplished incredible things in this sport. He's an awesome fighter. I have to imagine he has made a lot of money. Maybe it's time to hang it up. And not necessarily because he's not good anymore. Not necessarily because he can't compete at the top level. He can't. I don't think he's going to be able to go out there and win the belts. I don't think he's the best in the heavyweight division. I don't think he would beat Usyk. I don't think he would beat, after this, I don't think he would beat Dubois. Who knows about a fight with Fury? I don't even think that'll happen, probably. But when we're talking about the man, an individual, when we're talking about the human body, the amount of punishment you can take, when we're talking about the need to fight based off of, financial considerations, hopefully there is no money involved. Hopefully he's just got a whole bunch of coins saved up. He's gotten sponsorships. He's been an international superstar for so long. He's fought in so many big fights. So hopefully there's not any kind of financial factor weighing into this. I hope he hangs it up, man. The age that he is, the punishment that he's taken, the punishment that he took in this one, the layoff that he would have to take, in my opinion, before he should step in and fight again. All those things considered, right off into the sunset, man. Anthony Joshua's done incredible things. He could walk away from this one, and I don't think it would hurt his legacy at all. Even though you think, how could it not hurt his legacy? He goes out there and he takes a shot like this. We already didn't consider him the best heavyweight of his generation. He had already been taken out of that conversation with those losses to Usyk. And I don't think this one necessarily drops him down anymore when you lose to a young lion who's considered to be the future of the division. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What did you think of this fight? What do you think is going to be next? Do you think he should he exercise the rematch clause? Should he take a different fight? Or should he just hang the gloves up and walk away from it? And what do you want to see next from Daniel Dubois? Let me know what you guys think.